They are not an organization that supports black families. They're not an organization that supports traditional black families. They are not an organization that supports black men. And that's what I've been trying to tell my brothers. Black Lives Matter only cares about us if we're dead. First, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed, liked, commented. I appreciate everything that you've said. No matter what you've said, I appreciate the likes. Please share this with your friends. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit that share button. We're trying to make sure that everybody know that they're not victims, that they're empowered for greatness, that we can make a difference again in this nation. That we can stand up for biblical values, we can stand up for truth and push back against all the lies and everything that's false that's taking place in this land. So I appreciate that. And please, thank you for looking at my videos and participating and making our voice known. So it was Black History Month, as most people are aware of. And I've been strongly advocating that Black history is American history. We're supposed to teach the true history of the contributions that black people have made to this country. Just like anybody else, the contributions that Italians have made, Germans have made, that every ethnic group has made to bring about a country that's truly a melting pot that encompasses the best of what humans can be when they are of the same mind, of the same purpose. And that's where we see BLM, or Black Lives Matter, at school trying to disrupt that, trying to disrupt the unity that our nation was on the trajectory to. Racial reconciliation, racial healing. We were on that trajectory. But the Chinese Communist Party, Marxists, communists, and socialists, in conjunction with the Chinese Communist Party and others who want to destroy this nation, they don't want unification. Because they want to overthrow everything that America stands for. They want to overthrow our system of government and institute communism and socialism because they think it's best. And one of the main arms that they use to implement and institute and infiltrate all the institutions is Black Lives Matter. Now, people may say, why are you talking about Black Lives Matter? They are a great organization. They do a lot of good things. Can you tell me a good thing that they have done that has really contributed to the communities that they've actually come in and helped to destroy? Minneapolis, Ferguson, Missouri, any place like that? Has there been any tangible solutions that Black Lives Matter has instituted or established in those communities? Put them in the comments if there is. But I'm not here just to bang on Black Lives Matter. I'm here to talk about their 13 guiding principles. That's what I'm banging on. The things that they're actually implementing and looking to institute into schools. They are targeting schools. And you have to understand about Black Lives Matter. They are not an organization that supports black families. They're not an organization that supports traditional black families. They are not an organization that supports black men. And that's what I've been trying to tell my brothers. Black Lives Matter only cares about us if we're dead. So take a look at these 13 guiding principles. So if you are unaware, recently Black Lives Matter just had what they called a Black Lives Matter at School week, where they called it a week of action. So like I said in a previous video, they're looking to create little radicals out of our children, out of the public school. That's why it's so important that we implement school choice, parental choice, to get our children out of these schools where instead of focusing on educating them. They're focused on indoctrinating them with critical race theory, social emotional learning, and now Black Lives Matter at school. But these are the 13 original principles of Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna walk through each and every one of them. Restorative justice. We're committed to collectively, lovingly, and courageously working vigorously for freedom and justice for Black people, and by extension, all people. As we forge our path, we intentionally build and nurture a beloved community that is bonded together through a beautiful struggle that is restorative, not depleting. Empathy. We are committed to practicing empathy. We engage, you see that word? Comrades. You'll notice a theme here, a theme of communism and socialism. Why would you call your counterpart, somebody who's working with you, a comrade? You can use colleague, you can use teammate, you can use a lot of different words, but they use intentionally the word comrade. From the Communist Manifesto, a lot of the things that you see here actually do originate from the Communist Manifesto. We engage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with their context. Everything is about context now. Everything is about shared experiences or your experience. It's not about truth. It's all about feelings. We've gotten to the point where everything is about feelings. Loving engagement. We are committed to embodying and practicing justice, liberation, and peace in our engagement with each other, one another. Diversity. We are committed to acknowledging, respecting, and celebrating differences and commonalities, unless you are a Christian Black man. Globalism. We're no longer American, not America first. No, it's no longer about the sovereignty of America. It's globalism. We see ourselves as part of the global Black family. You can take out Black family. You can say global family. And we are aware of the different ways we are impacted or privileged as Black folk who exist in different parts of the world. So in other words, you have to feel ashamed because you live in America and you have more privileges than, say, someone who lives in a third world country. You'll feel ashamed because of that. You're privileged. You haven't done anything. God hasn't blessed you to the point to where He has given you talents and abilities to achieve. No, you're privileged. And that's wrong. Privilege is a dirty word. But this is where we get to what they're really talking about. Queer affirming. We are committed to fostering a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking. Wow. Rather the belief that all in the world are heterosexual unless she, he, or they disclose themselves otherwise. Trans affirming. We're committed to embracing and making space for trans siblings to participate and lead. We are committed to being self-reflexive and doing the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift Black trans folk, especially Black trans women who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. Collective value. You're starting to hear the same phraseology, right? Collective, comrades, together, village, community, communism, socialism, communism, socialism, communism, socialism. You're hearing that pattern, right? That phraseology. Collective value. We are guided by the fact all Black lives matter, which is a lie. That is a lie. Because if all Black lives matter, then you will have something in here talking about abortion. Regardless of actual or perceived sexual identity, gender expression, economic status, ability, disability, religious beliefs or disbeliefs, immigration status or location. You know, the people that started Black Lives Matter said they were 3 trained Marxists, right? There were 3 women, 3 lesbian women that started Black Lives Matter. And so you see what their main goals and focus areas are. Intergenerational. We're committed to fostering an intergenerational and communal, there's another communist word, communal network free from ageism. We believe that all people, regardless of age, show up with capacity to lead and learn. Now here's the kicker. Black families. So you say, you said they weren't interested in Black families. You have to read what they say. We are committed to making our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. What does that mean? Fully participate. You're trying to say because parents have to work. So in other words, we're going to make it easier for, well, I thought feminism was about getting women out the house. Which one is it? We are committed to dismantling the patriarchal, there it is, practice that requires mothers to work double shifts, that require them to mother in private, even as they participate in justice. Oh, this is not even about the workforce. This is about the mothers who are participating in the justice work. People that are participating in, community service, community engagement, community organizing. This is what they're talking about. They're not talking about, because in their mind, there's not going to be any more capitalism. So you won't have to go work at a company. You can just do your justice work. You can just do that. Or you can do your activist work. That's what they're talking about. Black villages, here we go. We are committed to disrupting the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. Bingo. That's what they're committed. I'm going to say that again. We are committed to disrupting the Western prescribed. That's a lie. It's biblically instituted, not Western prescribed. Eastern countries, Eastern people believe the same thing. It's not Western prescribed. It's biblically based. Male, female, children. It's God's institution, the family, and not the world's. We are committed to disrupting the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages. Oh, it takes a village. See, when people use that phraseology, you have to understand it comes from communist and socialist and Marxist books as well. That collectively care for one another, collectivism, and especially our, in quotes, our children, black children, to the degree that mothers, parents, see, do you see the word fathers there? And especially our children to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. You don't see anything about a father. What happened to the black fathers? Where is the support for black fathers? Because that's what I want us to understand, men. Black Lives Matter does not advocate for the black father or the black man or traditional black families. It does not. It is against it. It is against it. It is against the black father, the black man, and the traditional black family. Unapologetically black, we are unapologetically black in our positioning. In affirming that Black Lives Matter, we need not qualify our position. To love and desire freedom and justice for ourselves is a necessary prerequisite for wanting the same for others. We have freedom. Stand fast in the liberty where Christ has made you free. We're free. We live in a free nation. Why do they keep talking about freedom like we're still in bondage? Because they are. And they want us in bondage. And black women. We're committed to building a black, women affirming space free from sexism, misogyny, and male centeredness. There you go. That's right there. That shows you black men, black fathers, they do not care about us. It's all about queer affirming, trans affirming, black woman affirming, children, but no mention of a father. And this is what they want to teach in schools. This is what they want to pour down the throats, shove down the throats of our children. And we're going to allow that? No. They're trying to teach our children that they are victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. The greater one lives inside of us. And black fathers, we need to push back against this. People in general, we need to push back against this. Push back against this philosophy. Push back against this ideology that's looking to take over the schools. And they're targeting, unfortunately, predominantly black schools to teach our children this. Black Lives Matter does not care for black fathers, black men, and the traditional family. Sad to say. But we are not victims. I support black men, black fathers. I support all fathers. And I support the traditional family, especially the black family, because it has been the destruction of the black family unit that has led to where we are today. Think about it. So if Black Lives Matter is the descendant of the Civil Rights Movement, what happened to the men? Because the Civil Rights Movement was initiated, number one, by men. There were women involved, yes, Rosa Parks among others, but black men were spearheading that. Black men were spearheading that. And the faith, Christianity, That was spearheading that. Black Lives Matter turns it perverse it. It turns it on its head. So the church is nowhere mentioned, and black fathers and black men are nowhere mentioned. And you want us to get on board with that? That's why you don't see the same results. Because of the foundation, the orientation of it is not sound, it's not biblical, it's not godly. This is demonic. This is worldly, secular. That's what this is. And will not achieve what we want. And it talks about, and it falls along the same line like I mentioned before, how instead of us latching on and being tethered to our biblical values, we've untethered ourselves from biblical values and latched on to this racist, anti-God spirit. And this is what you get out of that. We are not victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. And we must teach our children that and stand up as black fathers and black men and advocate for our children and fight for our children and not have them receive this kind of garbage. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. Thank you so much for liking your comments and subscribing to the channel. Please share this with your friends. Smash that like button. Smash the subscription bell. Share this with everybody you know. We're trying to make sure people understand that they're not victims, that they are empowered for greatness, and all this stuff that's out here that's telling them otherwise is false and will not benefit them in the end. So please, I appreciate that. Share that.